favorite hour of the show, and that is exactly when I get to shine a spotlight on some of the most amazing people that continue to remind us that, listen here, your dreams are valid. And today I'm joined by award-winning business coach, industrial psychologist, as well as author of Piece by Piece. I'm talking to the one and the only Kathi Hyde. Hi, Kathi. How are you?
Hello, Rachel. Well, after that, I'm feeling very wound up. Thank you. It's lovely to connect again.
Thank you so much. But of course, let me lay out the red carpet so people understand exactly who we're talking about. Now, wearing the hats of award-winning business coach, industrial psychologist, as well as author, Kathi Hyde continues to blaze a trail like no other. From lecturing at an internationally recognized university at just the age of 21 to backpacking solo through Africa and Europe before achieving notable success within the entrepreneurship space. The author of Piece by Piece, a practical guide to stepping up or starting over in business and in life, is now using her experience and expertise to further the conversation around the journey of entrepreneurship at this year's Thriving Women's Entrepreneur Summit, reminding us that feminism isn't about making women stronger. It's about changing the perception of how the world perceives that strength. Now, first and foremost, Kathi, before we get into the crux of it all, I want to take it back to who exactly Kathi is, and most importantly, who was your point of reference when it came to entrepreneurship?
Sure. So that's a lot in one sentence.
I know.
The bottom line. The bottom line is that I'm just I don't want to say just an ordinary woman, but I am. I'm like every one of your listeners. I was no one special. I wasn't top of the class. I didn't come with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't have advantages that no one else could have. I was just an ordinary kid from an ordinary school, from an ordinary family. And then I got hit by a number of seismic changes. Life had a go at me, and I've been a refugee twice. I've been married more than once. I've failed as many times as most of your listeners. And now suddenly, at 58, so I'm not a youngster anymore, I'm a business success. I can afford to retire, and I've written a book which was a lifelong dream.
Sure.
So I've had a journey. But not a journey that is exclusive to me.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love the fact that you mentioned, the lows of it all, because I'm not going to lie, when I read this, I was like, you have done it all, and that makes us feel so inadequate. But I think it also comes back to the lessons that you also learned about yourself through those moments, because it's not easy. It's very easy to put a smile when everything is going right. But during those low moments, what did you learn about yourself the most?
Well, I think the big thing is to learn that life happens, good and bad. And when you fall over, while you're down there, look at what you need to learn. A lot of the times that I was in hardship, I appreciated that I am where I need to be. Hardship is an incredible birth canal. And oftentimes anything of substance can't happen without it. You've got to go through the hard times to birth the good times. I don't know why life's like that, but it is. And if you talk to anyone who's done something impressive or incredible, they'll talk to you about, I fell over 7 times and then I got up 8. And so the big thing for me was, don't waste your failures and don't miss the mercy in disappointments or the opportunity in no's and closed doors. Learn to look with those eyes that can see. But when life knocks you down, doors close, what is it that I need to learn? That was one of the biggest lessons I learned.
Listen, speaking about, those lessons, I just want to talk about, we can't deny that, the pandemic has kind of accelerated that need for side hustles. But we know that the world of entrepreneurship is not linear, especially as a female. So I want to know, what are the most interesting things that you're noting from this generation of entrepreneurs? And what are some of the mistakes that they're making that kind of cost them in the long run?
So I think it's a funny dichotomy that I'm seeing right now. I've never seen more opportunity, more talent, more... I mean, when I look at young women today, particularly like my daughter, I mean, they just want to grab the world by both hands and give it a shake at a level that I never had the confidence to do when I was their age. So there's this like wonderful kind of energy and enthusiasm and confidence. But at the same time, there's this sense that it's a battle, it's exhausting, and I've got to run really hard and fast to stand still. The world is not for me in ways that it needs to be. We're better, but it's not there yet. And so people are caught between the dream and the opportunity, I want to get at it, and then the reality that it can be very disheartening, and you can take 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and feel like you're getting nowhere. And so part of what I wanted to do was to almost write or make accessible something that allows, that informs the journey with truth. But just because you have setbacks doesn't mean you failed. Just because it's stressful doesn't mean you're wrong. Just because you got knocked down doesn't mean you can't get up. Just because you're doing it one way and it doesn't work out doesn't mean that there's another way. Because building a business is an art and a science, and it's not being taught. So you can have great ideas about stuff, but turning that into a business, you need to learn.
Listen, man, I'm definitely taking all of those notes and more. We're speaking to award-winning business coach, industrial psychologist, as well as author of Piece by Piece, the one and the only Kathi Hyde. And we want you to be part of this journey and more. All you got to do is hit us up on our studio line on 021-448-1352, or you can send in your WhatsApps on our WhatsApp line on 061-862-1065. Now, the one thing I love about the book is the fact that it's not your typical motivational book. You actually take us on the journey of, overcoming the setbacks, as well as offering those practical business skills. So I want to know, what conversations do you hope that the book kind of evokes?
I think truthful conversations and effective conversations. I mean, the thing is that what we want at the end of the day is a result. We want to change as people, women, and we want to change the trajectory of business from not going somewhere successful to becoming more successful. So for me, I wanted to write, yes, it's motivational, I hope, yes, it's inspiring, but I also wanted to write a how-to. Like, what do I do if I'm stuck at home, stuck in this thing, can't afford to get some help? I could at least buy a book. And then it needs to tell me, what do I need to do? Why do I need to do it? If I'm stuck, where do I need to go? What do I need to do? So it was quite a hard process to distill down what are the nub things that actually cause movement in people. And the real acid test was when business owners who've sort of reached a spot and are looking for help, read it, does it work? And the answer was yes. And boy, was that a relief.
I love that, because, sometimes we taste it out and it's like, oh my gosh. And I wanted to actually touch on the moments that you talk about when it actually doesn't work. How do you let go of an idea, and how do you remember why you started? Because, sometimes in those moments you get so hell-bent on this idea that just has to work. But there's a power in letting go. Please just talk to us about that journey.
Okay, so I can remember, if I get his name wrong, your sports fanatics who are listening are not allowed to shoot me. But he was the captain of the cricket team, a British team playing against the Ashes. I think it was Andrew Strauss, but don't kill me if I've got the wrong name.
Yes.
But anyway, he said to me, or he said to a couple of us, he said, if you take too long to solve the problem, you're solving the wrong problem. So sometimes you're beavering away at something and the answer is just no. And at some point you have to wise up, face the brutal fact and go, you know what, this isn't for me. And oftentimes it's only when you close the door that the window opens. And you have that moment between, the door's now closed, the window hasn't opened yet, that moment between when you're you're kind of swinging through the air, but you've let go the one, you haven't caught the other yet. And that's the risk of growth, transformation, being a business owner. That's the risk that we've got to be comfortable and learn to load rate ourselves in. Because nothing in life was ever achieved without stretch. And sometimes you have to let go before that stretch becomes a reality.
And now you're a panelist for the Thriving Women's Entrepreneurs Summit. Just please talk to us. Yes, I love it. So what is the summit all about? And most importantly, how's the preparation going? Because I want all of the gems that you're going to be spilling on the day.
Oh, you are sweet. But I mean, the thing is that for so long, I can remember when one of the local newspapers interviewed me and they said, how does it feel? And I go, you still feel the same person that you are. Now suddenly you're on this panel and sort of people are looking at you thinking, when and how did this happen? Yeah. But I mean, the bottom line, I think the whole summit is about a fresh wind in your sails.
I love that.
It's hard right now. It's tough, but it's not the first time it's been tough. It's not the last time it's going to be hard. And one of the things we're particularly good at as women is banding together and taking encouragement, sharing lessons, learning from each other, supporting each other. We're good at that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this is all about. Lock shields and just get a fresh wind, laugh a bit, learn a bit, have an opportunity to just hear some truth, get some shit sorted, and just make some changes. But don't be the same person that you were yesterday. Little changes can make a big difference. So it's for anyone who's in business, women in positions in work who just saying, you know what, I just need a fresh wind in my sails.
Ooh, I love that. Now, speaking about a fresh wind in your sails, I mean, we can't deny that while we feel alive with possibilities as women during the month of August, being a female entrepreneur or just being a female in general is not always easy. So let's touch on the importance of mentorship as well as collaboration, as well as, the opportunities that brings. What does that look like for Kathi?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is that I would never be where I was if I hadn't had coaches and mentors myself. And you talk to anybody who's got anywhere in life and they'll say to you, I really admired my teacher, or I had a parent invested in me, or someone took me under their wing at work. And I mean, that whole idea of learning as an apprentice at the knee of an expert is just time honored. And for me, that's what business coaching has always been. It's not consulting. I know everything. You know nothing. Let me give you the benefit of my expertise. It's a case of you know what you know. You're good at what you're good at. I'm good at business building in this instance. Let's put our combined forces together, be a bouncing board for each other, and just say, where could this business therefore go? The same with a sports coach. Same with a health coach. Coaching as a modality is a very empowering way to do business. It's to do anything, any change process. It's like it's reminiscent of that apprenticeship, but on a more equal status. And I think it's a fantastic way to do something, because as human beings, we always want to impress watching eyes. So when we have a personal trainer, we do more sit-ups than we would by ourselves. When we've got a sports coach watching us doing laps, we run better. When we've got a diet coach, sort of having a look at what we eat every day, we just eat better stuff. It's human nature. So for me, business coaching is a no-brainer. It's not being taught well, so learn it. And if you get a good coach, you get into a good relationship like I did, the wins in the business pay for the process. I mean, it's just a no-brainer.
I love it. Now, with just days away, I have to ask, what are you most excited for from the Thriving Women's Entrepreneurs Summit? I'm excited for all of that. What are you excited for?
I think it's just, it's on Zoom, and I just get such a kick out of seeing a wall of faces.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? It's just to see a wall of faces, women in solidarity, saying we're not going to be beaten by the narratives, the issues, the impossibilities, the challenges, and some of the stuff that's really unacceptable. We're not going to be beaten by that. We're going to join hands, and we keep saying, how can we be part of the solution, not part of the problem? And I just take huge encouragement from that.
I love that. And now I'm a firm believer in building habits. So as we close off this beautiful conversation, what are some of the daily habits that entrepreneurs need to build in their journey of entrepreneurship?
Well, I mean, I was just talking to a client now who runs a school, and, she was just saying that school is hard right now. The taxi strike has affected learners, it's affected parents, it's affected teachers. It may be going on for a while. And, she said last week, who saw this coming? And so one of the things that we talked about, and it sounds so simple, it sounds counterintuitive, but the first thing is don't neglect your own health protocols.
Ooh.
You've got to eat, you've got to sleep, you've got to make sure that your oxygen mask is fixed. Otherwise, you ain't going to be tackling anything.
I don't want to add anything.
And the second, a lot ahead of you, break it down. Like, what do you need to do next? And focus on that.
Sure.
And then the last thing is keep the plane flying. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of noise, a lot of emergency lights going off in a lot of businesses, but all of that is academic if you don't keep the plane flying. So what have you got to do to keep the plane flying?
I don't want to add anything.
Do that first.
Ooh. I love all of that. Listen, I've taken all the tips, I've taken all the tricks, and most importantly, I will definitely be applying that, not only as an entrepreneur, but also just as a boss, man. Oh, thank you so much. Someone's listening to you, wants to follow in on your journey. Where do they find you on social media?
So Building Best Business is my Facebook page, and they can start there, and from there they can get the other social media links.
I love that, Kathi. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. Hopefully this is not the last time we have this conversation, because I feel like we need to have more of these conversations just to remind people of the power that they have when they just go for it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Loretta, always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. That's the one and the only Kathi. Most importantly, she is an award-winning business coach, industrial psychologist, as well as author, reminding us of the power of just believing in yourself, making sure that you build on your habits, and more than anything, loving what you do. Because trust me, if you trust in the process will reward you.